Welcome back to Cottage Designs by Erin, where today we're going to do a year-end review of all the products I've made with you since January of 2024. Grab something to drink and hold on tight because it's going to take a while. In January, the very first project we finished together was a Drunkard's Path quilt. And this is the finished product of that. Here's the back. The backing fabric came from keepsakequilting.com. So that was our very first project. This took a couple months to make. Next we had January 14th of 24 was all about the cat pillow. I still do not have it stuffed, but it is partially finished. Who knew that this little pillow would bring so much attention? This video on how to upcycle old linens now has 63,000 views. So if you're interested in that, go back to January 14th of 24 in my video list. After the kitty cat pillow, we made a blue ribbon embroidered quilt. I made this in my 20s, but I tell you in the video where you can go to get the pre-printed panel, and I showed you how to embroider the quilt itself. So there's that. That video is January 27th, 2024. Next, we had What's Under My Needle, January 28th of 24. This is the blue and white quilt that I finished for my granddaughter, Grace Josephine. The embroidered blocks were purchased at a thrift shop. They were partially finished, and then I finished them myself, and I sewed them into a twin size quilt. And you can see this on my video list. The backing is beautiful, and this also came from keepsakequilting.com. Next, February 4th of 2024, we finished a handkerchief pillow. And I showed you how to stuff it, how to sew it, and how to sew it shut. Here is the handkerchief pillow that we completed, and I love this, and this stays on my bed during the spring. That video is from February 4th of 24. Next, February 9th of 24, we completed a butterfly quilt. This is also for my granddaughter, Grace Josephine, and it is a twin size quilt. I show you I tell you where to buy the vintage handkerchiefs. I show you how to form them, how to sew them down, and how to sash the quilt together. This was completed January 9th of 24 is the video for that. Next up, we have our little blue truck quilt by Crabapple Hill Studios is the pattern. Let me put this away. And that is on the wall, the design wall behind me. In this video, I show you how to color the truck, and then I show you the silk ribbon roses that I used in order to add dimension to the truck. This was quilted by one of my Quilt Guild members named Janie DeLapp. She did a beautiful job on it. So that video is from February 26th of 24. Next, we have the Barbie quilt. I still have to get this to the little girl I promised it to, which is another reason I needed to make the video to get this out of the way. Sadly, this quilt was not eligible to be voted on at my Quilt Guild because they decided that even though we had the challenge of decorating a panel, they were not going to allow any of the panel quilts to be voted on. So I spent a lot of money and a lot of time and a lot of effort and a lot of energy making a quilt that was not part of the voting process. However, it did turn out really cute, and I'm certain that little Hazel will love it. Next, we have how to make a baby bonnet. And this is from March 16th to 24. This is one of the bonnets I made Grace. Let me tie the back of it so it'll look a little more normal here. She did wear it, but only for about 2 weeks because you know how babies grow. So here is the little baby bonnet we made. It's lined with a vintage gingham. I did get pictures of her wearing this with a cute little pink outfit. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the bonnet and put it in a shadow box with Grace's picture and save that for her for when she grows up. Next, we had Spring Has Sprung. That quilt is not finished and will be a 2025 finish. Next, on April 6th of 24, we did a teapot quilt. Let me see where I put the teapot at. I thought I brought it in here, but I'm not seeing it. So that was the Martha's hot transfer, and I showed you how to do that. I did not bring the quilt in here. I'm not seeing it, sorry. Okay, next we have a baby sunsuit. That has already been donated. Lori Holt, oh, the teapot quilt's behind me, for heaven's sakes. Okay, so this is the teapot quilt. This was hand embroidered using Aunt Martha's hot transfers. And I showed you how to do this, and I also showed you how to finish it. So that was July is when it was finished. Okay, and then we have Lori Holt's canning season quilt, which is this behind me. And that is all made out of Lori Holt fabric. And that was completed on, let's see, May 4th of 24 is the video for this. You can see how to make that. It's a Lori Holt pattern. Next up, we made a flannel charity quilt. And I just got this back literally in the last week. It has been quilted, but it does not have the binding on it. And so I showed you how to make these blocks, and we sashed it together with some cute little woodland animal flannel. So this is the charity quilt from back in the summer, 6/26 to 24. Okay, next we did a trip around the world baby quilt. Baby Lucy has made her arrival, and I have not got her quilt finished. So she's only a few weeks old, so I still have to quilt this, but I showed you how to do a trip around the world baby quilt. And so that was that project. And this is from 7/7 of 24. And this summer we did Christmas and July projects. And we had a Christmas tree quilt. And I showed you how to make the templates to make this Christmas tree wall hanging. Okay, that video is from 7/13 of 24. Next, we did wool ornaments. I only made one of those, so I didn't get very far with that. Okay, moving on to September. In September, we made the little pillow. If the shoe fits, I showed you how to embroider this. I tell you where to get the pattern. It still needs to be stuffed. So this was a project, and this is 9/22 of 24. Next, we did the Christmas cottage quilt. I have not had time to work on that anymore. We did a Christmas cross-stitch ornament. That was just finished in the last couple days. So you can see that video. We did a patchwork charity quilt, which I still do not have quilted. I have it basted with pins, and this still has to be finished. That video is from 10/13 to 24. On 10/20 of 24, we made this trick or treat cute little primitive wall quilt. And this is from a kit. This video is from 10/20 of 24. And the kit is from Cottage Creek Quilts. We've been working on the stamped Christmas cross stitch. Next, after that, we made the ice skate quilt, which I thought I brought in here. I'm not seeing the ice skate quilt, but you've seen it several times. Here is the ornament that goes with the ice skate quilt. We made this in the last 3 weeks. And then we did a Valentine's Day quilt, which is started but not finished. We also made this gingerbread table runner. And as you can see, it still needs to be quilted and embellished if we so want to embellish it. The gingerbread video was from 11/17 of 24. And then we did the embroidered ornament on 11/17, also of 24. And then let me grab something. Last night, I started stitching Gather Ye Pumpkins While Ye May. And I have several hours invested in this, even though it doesn't look like it. It's a slow go. It's a very slow process. So, all in all, I counted 14 finished quilts. I sewed 105 doll dresses for my online business, Cottage Designs by Erin on Etsy. And I made one charity quilt. So 14 quilts, more than 20 projects, and 105 doll dresses. This is our list for the year. Please stay with me. In January, I have some exciting news. I am going to start teaching a sewing class at work to my special education students. So this will not start until August, but I need to have time to get my resources together and figure out how I'm going to go about teaching them to sew. We did secure 10 sewing machines for them, so I'm super excited about that. That's going to be my new endeavor for 2025, in addition to being with you every week on YouTube. Like and subscribe and give me a thumbs up. Thank you.